Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Anna, and we're about to get into Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 6, Extra Stress. So let's start with Chaz and Branwyn. So he's at the hotel and he's packing up and he's making sure he has everything that he needs for Branwyn. He tells us that he plans to marry her at a park near the jail as soon as she gets out. I'm like, you real thirsty, sir. Like, she can't even get out the door good before you like, all right, we about to go get married. You finna have a pass to pull up? Insane. So he shows us the sweats because she wanted them to have matching sweats at the wedding. He bought her an iPhone and he bought her a ring that cost him about $4K. So he ends up telling us that Branwyn's best friend Jessica is planning on bringing her ex Aaron to to see her when she gets out. And I'm just like, why is Aaron coming? Like, what does Aaron need to be in attendance for if he's an ex? I think they on bullshit. It was given real setup-y because I'm like, I don't understand why the ex-boyfriend need to be there if you know that she's in a relationship with somebody else. Anyway, Chaz tells us that Aaron is the reason that Branwyn is in jail right now. So he's not too happy about Aaron coming to see her when she gets out. When he gets in the car to go pick her up from the jail, it's raining. And he's like, oh, I hope this is not a foreshadowing of our relationship. And I could have sworn I heard that rain on your wedding is good luck. But in this instance, it very well might be a foreshadowing of this being a shit show. But we shall see. This man has an app that has counted down the days for Branwyn to get out of jail. And he's in the car and he's so emotional. He's like, I've just been looking at this every day and I'm so excited that she's getting out. I get to spend the rest of my life with her. And I'm just like, sir, for your sake, I really hope that she don't do you dirty when she get up out of here. So as he's waiting for her, he gets a phone call from her, and he's like, hey, what's up? You didn't change your mind, did you? And she's like, no, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just sitting outside in the freezing cold rain waiting on my baby. And I'm just like, y'all can't be serious right now. Like, this is a lot. And from everything that I'm looking at with my eyes, I don't see this working at all. Because he's so insecure, and she's not a bad looking woman. And can we go back to the fact that she was locked up for aggravated identity theft, and her ex-boyfriend is here, who apparently is the one that got her wrapped up in this shit. It's just like, I don't even know what's going on right now. So as he's waiting for her, after he gets off the phone with her, there's a lady. She pulls up in the truck, and he's like, oh, who are you here for? And she's like, I'm here to pick up my daughter. And he's like, who's your daughter? And she's like, Amy. And I'm like, they both seem like one and the same, because he just struck up this random conversation with this lady, and she's going along with him. I want to tell you my daughter's name. Like, why you want to know? Sir, I'm not here for that. They show up, and Aaron looks like he's still on drugs. He's still very much giving, I still get high. He looked like, before the drugs, he used to actually look like something. But as of right now, terrible in the face. But still, Chaz is intimidated because he don't even understand why he's here. And he like, you the reason that my baby got locked up, so I just don't understand why you here. Like, do you think that y'all about to rekindle something else? And it's just like, they very well may be. Like, Branwyn is trying to tell us that she's not interested in this man, However, did you not tell your friend not to bring him? Why were you not adamant with your friend about why would you bring him, and you know that me and this man finna be together? It's giving setup. So Chaz actually confronts Aaron and says that I was actually nervous about you coming because, he said I wasn't sure what it was getting. And Aaron said, oh no, I'm just here to say, thank you. And I put money on her books. And Chaz didn't like that at all when he said he put money on her books. And he in the confessional like, talking big shit. Oh, thanks, dude, but, we don't need you anymore. You really can get out of here. I'm just like, you definitely wouldn't have that energy in that man's face. And it seems like Aaron is going out of his way to ignore Chaz and be calm for several reasons. You in front of a jail and you on camera. But he looked like he got a tendency. He very well looked like he got a tendency to pop you. So, Chaz knew not to do too much in that moment. So she gets out, and she's so excited. He's so excited, and she real animated, and it's giving forced. Like, her voice is real in a high-pitched tone, and I'm just like, y'all really, I feel like y'all playing in our face. I feel like she playing in our face. Because she tells us, oh, I'm just so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that Chaz is here, and he has a wonderful sense of humor, and who wouldn't want to be with a retired Marine that's in a rock band? And I'm just like, you landed on real thick, Miss Branwyn. But if you say so, girl. So, she says she's anxious because Aaron is there. Because apparently, Aaron was supposed to be taking Branwyn to get therapy or rehab. And instead, she said she caught some charges. So she didn't really go into depth about that. But apparently, along the way to the treatment center, she ended up catching some charges. So Branwyn says she made a box for Chaz in carpentry class, and I felt like that was really sweet. It was a nice wooden box, and she said she engraved it with both of their names and the day they met, and then their wedding date, which would be that day. So I'm just like, that was really sweet of you. I got mixed feelings about this because a part of me is feeling like it's a scam. But then you made him a bot. That don't mean shit. I don't even know why I just said that. That means nothing at all. But it was a sweet gesture. I hope she don't do this man dirty. We don't need no other woman cleaning him out of his money. Because that's what it seemed like is the cycle with Mr. Chaz. And I really hope that this is everything that he thinks that it's going to be for them. So let's skip over to Rick and Raydeen. Raydeen wakes up at her parents' house and she talks with her mother, and her mother ends up asking about Rick and Kayla. And she basically says that, Kayla's got 4 years, so she's going to take this time to get to know Rick. But she also knows that she loves Kay. And her mom is like, I'm not going to force you to choose either way. I'm just going to stay out of it. But Daddy got something to say. She get downstairs with Daddy. And Daddy like, yeah, I heard you and your mama in there talking. And do you really want to be with this old ass man for the rest of your life? Because if not, I need you to figure it out. Because I didn't raise you to be a user. And that's what you're not about to do to this man. So if you don't want to be with him, you need to let him go. And Raydeen is getting irritated because she's like, why do everybody keep talking? Like, I don't want to keep talking about this shit. She basically said, I made up my mind. Like, I'm going to be with Kay, and everybody else just needs to fall in line. So, she ends up walking out the door, and she tells us in her confessional that she ends up doing what she want to do. But Daddy says he's worried that this three-way is not going to work out. and that usually these kind of situations can get volatile. And I'm like, Daddy ain't wrong, and you probably need to listen to him. But she seemed like a stubborn ass, and she not gonna listen to her damn daddy. They flip to her and Rick. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't never heard the damn name Ray Dean in my life. So I keep saying Ray, and then I believe that's also her father's name. So it's just like I keep seeing Ray, and that's where it stops. And I keep mistaking Rick for Ray, and it's too many R's going on right now. Rick and Ray Dean are at an ice cream shop, and Ray Dean is just basically telling him that, you know, she's really thankful for him, and she don't have to really look over his shoulder. And, you know, Rick said he's sad that she's going back to the halfway house, and he really wants them to work it out. And he says he wants to be able to be there for her and help her get adjusted to the outside life, because he understands what it feels like. So he wants to be able to, you know, be a shoulder for her, or a helping hand, if you will, as she goes along in this process. But at the same time, he's worried about Kay. Like, this is still in the back of his mind. And Ray said he gonna need him some answers before they go back to the halfway house. Ray Dean also tells us that Ray is a good influence on her, and she ends up revealing to us that her parents were never in a relationship. So she was with her mother from 6 years old up until I guess she started getting into trouble and going to jail. And she said that her father was on drugs, and since she was with her mother, she was hanging out with her mom and her friends, and her mother was drinking and drugging. And I'm just like, what's wrong? Like, it's people out here that are struggling to have children, and some of y'all just out here being lackluster as parents. And I'm sick of it. You create these monsters in the world. Because that's fucked up for you to have your little baby around you while you drinking and drugging, and then you wonder why they so effed up when they grow up. You wonder why she keep going to jail. That baby said it didn't matter what drug it was, she was gonna do it. And I'm like, that is really sad. And it's partially it's her fault, but at the same time, is it her fault if she grew up and that's all she knew? Some people, you know, steer away from the drugs when they grow up in that type of environment, and some people get into the lifestyle. And it's just a really sad situation. She says she think about drugs every single day. And I'm like, I'm really sorry to hear that, Ray Dean. So, the next day, it's like something in the morning. They heading back to the halfway house. She got about 3 hours to be there. And Rick decides that he needs to get his answers today, because that's going to determine whether he going to continue to deal with Ray Dean or not. And he tells her, like, first of all, I hate the way he brings it up. He brings up Kayla so passively, like it's a damn joke, but deep down inside, you're crying. Like, stop bringing this shit up as a joke and be direct to her. Like, you could get somewhere a whole lot quicker if you just be direct with people. Yeah, it might come off real harsh, but sometimes that's just how it needs to be. Because you pussyfooting around is not helping you at all. He tells her that he'll try to do this thing with her and Kayla, this 3-way, but I feel like you set me up. Like, we be honest with, you know, everything else between us except for Kay. And I don't appreciate that. And she gonna say, well, you know, it's not like I was sitting in my cell saying, I wonder how I can F this up. And I'm just like, that's not the point. The point is, Rick was in a relationship, a throuple, unbeknownst to him. That's the problem. You ain't say shit about Kay until you got on the outside, and now you trying to tell him that this is what it's gonna be. Well, bitch, we've been messing around for 10 years, and you ain't told me nothing about this woman. Nothing. So you can't expect me to feel comfortable with this. I'm sure she was pillow talking that man and telling him that, oh, this gonna be this and this and that when we get out. And then when you get out, you singing a different song. No, we're not doing that. Sorry. I'm not even mad at Rick. Child. Rick said he needs to know where they stand before they go back to the halfway house. And Radine explains to him that Kayla is a comfort for her. Basically a safety net. And she keeps saying, and she's really adamant about Kayla is not going anywhere. And she says she loved Kay. So now Rick is feeling like he is sugar daddy. And she like, of course you just gonna, bring up the money. Like, so she in her confessional pissed off because she like, why the fuck would you do this before I'm about to go back in here? Like, I already don't want to be here. And you want to bring this up. So he drops her off and he gives her a kiss and he lets her know that he's not completely sure if he's going to continue on with this relationship. And it's just like, I feel like you should probably cut your losses, Rick, because clearly she is not letting go of this woman. And 4 years in her, it's really not that long. 4 years can go by. So we lost 2 years. Where did 2019 and 2020 go? Like, once COVID hit, we lost 2 years. We blinked and it was 2022. So 4 years is not a long time. So you might as well cut your losses before you get real deep in this shit and end up back on them drugs. Because she done broke your heart and you don't know what to do. That girl gonna cause you to spiral. Daddy ain't lying. He already know. He been around the block. They need to cut their losses. Child, let's get this mess out the way. Lacey and Antoine. I'm gonna call him Twan because I'm not finna keep saying Antoine. I got a Twan in my life and they got the same name. We just gonna shorten it up. So they're driving home and Twan tells us that they've been messing around for 2 years and, it feels so surreal. So, they riding and I guess they get off the road and into the city and she pulled out this day old chicken teriyaki that she had made when she was at her house. And her house was 3 hours away. So you had some chicken teriyaki sitting out for 3 days and you put it in a hotel refrigerator and then you brought it to this man and you didn't get a chance to warm it up and you thought he was finna want to eat that. He said, no, can we go to the restaurant and get some real teriyaki? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I don't want this. So, they pull up to the restaurant and he tells us that he has been in solitary confinement for the past 2 years. So, not solitary confinement. Is the whole and solitary confinement the same thing? I don't know. But he been by himself for 2 years. And I can imagine that would drive one crazy. Like, being by yourself, like, isolated for 23 hours of the day, that would drive anybody insane. Especially if you ain't got no entertainment. So, he says that, he's not really comfortable talking to, people or being around a whole lot of people. And he asks her if she can go in the restaurant and, order the food for him. So she go and she does that. And she comes back and, he's excited about the food. After he ends up eating, she ends up asking him, before that, he FaceTimes his mother and he asks if he can come over there and she like, nah, baby, me and your grandma done got the vid. So, he disappointed because he really wanted to see them because he misses them. But, he said he'll talk to them later. So, once they get off the phone, Lacey ends up asking Twan if his mom ever came to see him or put anything on his books. And he said no and no. And why you asking? And she like, I just want to know. He said, yeah, well, don't ask them kind of questions. He's like, ooh, yeah, mama's the boy. And he ain't playing about her. So don't be asking them kind of questions like you insinuating something that I don't feel like you should be insinuating. He was real bothered by that. So they get to the house, and she's like, welcome home, babe. And he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I'm a little delayed. for lack of a better term. I don't know if it's high, because he was high. He been smoking since he got in the damn car. But he either real high or he just a little. So they say cheers to each other. And he's like, for what? And I'm just like, about for what? He's so high. He don't even understand what's going on right now. So after they cheers, they have this awkward ass silence looking at each other. Because essentially, you got this, no disrespect, I believe she's in her 40s. 40 or late 30s. Late 38-year-old woman. And this 28-year-old boy who went to jail when he was 17 years old. So, essentially, he's still 17 in the mind. Like, what do y'all got to talk about? He been in solitary confinement for the past 2 years. What could y'all possibly even discuss? It's like that work friend that you could talk to about work shit, but then if y'all hang out outside of work, y'all really ain't got a whole lot to talk about, because y'all relationship was built on the fact that y'all work together. So that's what it feel like. Y'all, all he could talk about is jail shit, and all you could talk about is, you know, the little shit that you've been doing, and not challenging each other's face is just weird. But okay, girl. So he FaceTimed his mama again. They have a short little conversation, and it seemed like Lacey get, you know, a little annoyed every time they get on the phone. It's just like, what you upset for? Like, that lady ain't fucking with you because you fucking with her son. You can't be mad at her about that. Even though I'm still going to continue to go back to the fact that, what did you introduce this grown-ass woman to your son? Why? We're not going to do that again. They end up doing this nasty ass kiss, and they go back in the room, and he ends up telling us that he hope he don't bust quick because it's been 3 years. And I'm just like, yeah. Kevin and Tiffany. So Kevin bend the block and pull back up on Tiffany, and y'all, why is she paroled to his house? And I'm just like, now I'm confusion. Because what was the game plan? Like, I don't know what the goal was. If you was paroled to this man's house, then why did you have Kurt come to get you? Because now it's starting to feel like you stirred up that shit on purpose. Because you had to go to Kevin's house. Eventually, I'm sure you can't just up and change where you paroled into. You're going to be paroled there for your certain amount of time. I'm not well versed in jail shit. I do not know. But if memory serves me, I do not believe that you could just up and change your, you know, parole space. And then your PO was going to call you. And he might have popped up on you. Can somebody help me understand? The bitch did it on purpose. So he pull up and she like, oh, so now you want to hug me and say you sorry. He like, oh yeah, I'm cool since I got, you know, I laid buddy out. And she tells him, you know, I just didn't want the drama and I wanted to be able to get out and process everything. And I'm just like, what do they got to... Like, everything she's saying is not making sense to me. Every time Tiffany get up on this screen, she give us bullshit. So Tiffany ends up telling us that she has been a party girl since she was 18 years old. And she got caught up with meth and GHB. I looked up what GHB was, and apparently it's a date rape drug. I'm just like, really? Okay. So she ended up saying she had a blue warrant and she was in the top 10 most wanted in her city at one point. And I'm like, girl, you was a bad bitch. Top 10 most wanted. Blue warrant. I didn't look that up, but that sounds like some shit you don't want to have. End up saying the feds raided her crib and they found guns and drugs. I'm like, okay, Miss Tiffany. So Kevin say he not fully over it. But you know, he gonna rock it out for the night, and he take her back to the house, and he tell her to get comfortable. And of course, they end up taking it to the room, and they flip to the next morning, and they tell us that they end up having sex. Tiffany said the sex was real good, and Kevin agrees that they have a great sexual relationship. And she tells us that she stopped talking to Kevin because she was scared that she couldn't make him settle down, because she knew that he was a ladies' man. So now that she got that deep, she asking him that I think you and I need to cut everybody off if we're gonna make this a serious relationship. And he said, yeah, that's cool. I'm with that, but it's just like, girl, you done already fucked up. Because you had this man pull up. You had Kurt pull up on you. You paid Kevin dust. And then when Kevin knocked Kurt ass out, now you want to be on his dick again. And it's just like, you've laid the foundation, my dear. And if he decide to dog walk you, not physically, but metaphorically, he will be well within his right, because you tried to play in that man's face, and then once you found out that the man you with was puss, you called Kevin back. Oh, what a tangled web we weave, bitch. So yeah, like I said, he agrees to cut everybody off, and as soon as they leave his lips, Kayla ears must have been ringing. What is it? And saying it because she calls him, and he go and step outside. And Kevin explains to us that he's scared that Kayla is going to run Tiffany off because she's unpredictable, and he doesn't know, if he doesn't know what she's like. He doesn't know what she's capable of. She can do anything. But I'm just like, I don't think Kayla want to see Miss Tiffany. I don't think she want to see her. I feel like Tiffany would drag Miss Kayla. Shorty used to tow guns. Like, Kayla act tough, but she ain't tough. Tiffany about that life. Bitch toting guns. I'm sorry. Any bitch that the feds raid her crib, like, she ain't to be fucked with. Then her demeanor give you silent killer. Like, bitch, I will fuck you clean up. Like, Kayla be doing all that, woo woo, right, all that rah rah, and Tiffany just, play it back, and then you get socked out. Then you end up like Kurt. That's what it's looking like. And Tiffany don't want to go back to jail, but everybody that been to jail say they want to go back until they get in a situation where they like, well, I think I'm fucking around and go back. It is what it is. Like, it's sad. So Kevin tells us that he don't think he's completely ready to just kick Kayla out of his life right now. So they plan to go to dinner. He said, we got to be real strategic about how we move around Kayla, but because she crazy. And I'm just like, yeah, she act crazy. She might be loud crazy, but quiet crazy is a little bit worse, if you ask me. Indy and Harry. So they going on a date. And they going to this like arcade type place, and when they get there, they end up doing the tightrope thing. Meanwhile, in the confessional, Harry tells us that he messing with another female, and I'm just like, oh wow, Harry, in the confessional. I mean, but we wouldn't have a show if y'all weren't in here, telling y'all tea. Indy tells us it's hard for her to trust him since he cheated on her, but she's trying to make it work. So after they finish doing the tightrope, once they get across, she's gonna say, if we can do this, we can do babies in marriage. And I'm just looking dumbfounded, because it's just like, what the fuck do that got to do with the price of tea in China? What do walking across the tightrope? If we could do this, we could do babies in marriage. And it's just like, Indy, you need to be worried about the damn babies that you already got. And he need to worry about the one that he already has. Y'all don't need to have no kids. You can't afford it. You're staying with his sister, and you trying to rush and get married. This man finna be on parole for 15 years. What are you talking about? Child. So he tells us in the confessional that they don't use protection, but he don't want kids right now. And it's just like, but you are not actively trying to prevent having kids. So if she pop up pregnant, which she might, you're gonna be looking dumbfounded. He talking about they got ways for you to not have kids. It's called the pull-out method. I'm like, yeah, he's still 17 in the mind, if he really believes. Because sometimes I don't be knowing if Harry is serious or he playing, but I think he dead ass. He think the pull-out method is accurate. I know several pre-cum babies. I'm just saying. So after he ignores that comment that she made, and he just like, I mean, yeah, I guess we ready for, marriage and babies. And then they sit down, and she like, I'm happy to be with you, even though we've had a few hiccups. We talked about this for a long time, but, I understand we had a few hiccups. And this man says the thing about those hiccups, you think they gone, and they come right back. And I'm just like, Indy, how many times this man got to tell you that you need to run for your life? Because he's been warning you the entire time. How many times this man got to tell you subliminally that he ain't shit, and he gonna do what he gonna do, whether you like it or not? Like, when? When you gonna wake up, boo? When you gonna wake up and go home and take your baby home? Like, back to Maryland. Because that's where you need to be. Because this is some foolery. So they're getting ready to leave the arcade, and he get a text from Terry baby, heart eyes, heart kissy face. And she wasn't gonna say anything. Her whole mood just changed. So it's just like, so you just gonna accept the shit? Like, that don't make no damn sense, Indy. Why are you that insecure? Cause you pretty. Like, you a little off, but you're not bad looking, and you seem like you a very sweet girl. But I don't understand what's going on up top. Like, who hurt you? Something happened. Because I don't understand what Indy got going on in her mind right now. So the next, not the next day. So he asked her, like, why did your whole mood change? And she like, 'cause I saw the text. And he like, what text? What text did you see? And it's just like, I hate when niggas try to sit up there and gaslight you just to see if you know what you know. What text? What you talking about? Like, stop playing with me. I didn't have to see anything. I saw Terry baby kissy face, heart emoji. And it's just like, on the phone I bought though? Ain't no way in the fuck, Indy, you better than me. 'Cause that phone would have been off the next day. And Miss Terry would have had to go and get his ass a phone. Because ain't no way you texting and calling and sexting bitches on the line that I bought, the line that I'm paying for. Is you stupid? No, Indy. You stupid. Child. So she ends up getting pissed off, and she left his ass at the arcade. And the next day, we see Indy leaving Lydia's house, Harry's sister, and she said Harry ain't came home last night. And it's just like, this nigga do not give a fuck about his life. He just out here. The fact that he continuously not coming home on camera shows that he don't give a shit. Like, do they got different rules for the We TV people, for the Love After Lockup cast? Is there a different set of rules? Because y'all get on this camera and tell on y'all self, and I just be so confused. I don't understand. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Harry got his ass at Terry's house. He say, well, since Indy left my ass at the arcade, I just went on over to Terry crib. And I'm just like, wow. And it's official. Harry has a type. He clearly exclusively dates black women. Indy, the two bitches in the phone, and Terry. All black. I'm like, I ain't mad at you, boo. You know, get it how you live. Terry is 25 years old. And they show them Harry and Terry, child. They sit in the kitchen, and Terry says, so what, is that thing over with Indy? Because we not finna be doing this. And he like, you know, I'm here, ain't I? And she like, you know, I'm still kind of hot because you made me lose my job. Apparently, this bitch was a resident at the jail, and she ended up fucking around with him on the outside because she felt like he was real intriguing. I said, bitch, intriguing enough to lose that good paying ass job? Is you stupid? Y'all be in there fucking them inmates. Like, I'm sorry. Y'all got to be. My fiance went up to Cook County Jail to visit somebody the other damn day. And she like, all these women up in here dressed up, smelling good, smelling like all the body lotion. And it's just like, I ain't gonna put that on all of y'all, but some of y'all in there fucking. Because I wouldn't even want all that goddamn attention from them inmates. Like, I would try to be as okay looking as possible. Like, if you already cute in the face, you can't really help it. But sometimes I've gone out of my way to look bummy, so you motherfuckers will leave me alone. And it don't work, but still. Anyway, she says she lost her job because of him. And he like, how long you gonna dwell on that? And it's just like, he didn't get you fired, bitch. You got you fired. Because you knew the good and goddamn well that you weren't supposed to be messing around with him. So how you gonna blame him? And then another thing I wanted to point out, y'all notice how different he is with this Terry girl versus how he is with Indy. He real, with Indy he tend to be a little bit up here, and with her he like down here. Because I feel like he know that Terry might chin check his ass. That's what it's giving. He likes the fact that Terry is real aggressive and say what she want out her mouth and tell her it's about to be me and you or nothing. So you need to tell Indy that she needs to get gone. Or I'm done. He in there holding her hand, talking about, you know, I see you, girl, and I appreciate you. Like, the way he looking at her, like, you can see that he turned on. With Indy, I don't feel that vibe between them. Indy was a come up. Indy was some money. He didn't think this shit was going anywhere with Indy, but he ain't got the nuts to break up with her ass. This nigga fucking with her out of obligation. And it's just like, don't do me no goddamn favors. Because if you gonna continue to disrespect me, then why stay with me because you feel bad? Feel bad for what if you still ain't shit? Like, help me understand. They flip back to Indy and she on the phone with her mama, and her mama like, hey, what's going on? And she like, why you sounding all down and sad? And she like, nothing, mom. Like, we good. We just adjusting. She like, it don't sound like y'all adjusting. Where Harry at? And she like, I don't know. And she like, you don't know. She like, do I need to come down there? She like, no, mom. You don't need to come down here. I'm like, no. You don't need to come down there, mama. You need to send for her. She need to go back down there where you at. Don't come down there. Tell her to come back home. Because it's a mess. Terry tells Harry that he wants to. Terry asks Harry to, you know, what's his goals? What are your plans? Like, you need to write down your plans. You need to tell me your goals. So she writing it down on the dry erase board, And Harry, like, yeah, like, I really like that shit. Like, she making me get on my shit. And, to be honest with you, like, I love them both. And I don't know which one I'm going to pick. And it's just like, you're not going to pick neither one. You're going to continue to fuck with both of them. I feel like. Until you're forced to make a decision. But I'll tell you what, I know he liked Terry more than he liked Indy. Because the vibe is totally different. Completely different. Terry ain't playing with his ass. And that's the one he gonna end up picking when it's all said and done. And Indy feelings gonna be hurt. And that's real unfortunate. But we done told your ass, Indy. We was telling you in Love during Lockup that you probably shouldn't be doing this shit. But you didn't listen. And that's real unfortunate. But I'm looking forward to when Miss Yolanda pop up on that ass. When she in the car and she pull off her hood and she like, hello, Clarice. And he like, shit, I ain't ready for that. But child, that has been Love After Lockup. You guys please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me if you like my new background, if you follow me. If you've been following me. And I just want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys coming with me on this journey and listening to me pop my shit. But I'll see y'all in the next episode. Y'all have a good evening.